Hey guys, what's going on? Sham Kumar here, the Minister of Everything. I want to welcome you to another episode of Luke's Tale. Luke is now in his 10th week of life, and as you can see, he's getting bigger, he's getting more cheeky, he's getting more energetic, and he's able to do more things than he was able to do when we first brought him home. So, I thought I would take this opportunity and sort of go over with you some of the things we went through with him on his first night from when we brought him home from the breeder. I thought I could pass on to you some of the words of wisdom from my experiences. This is our second puppy, so we've gone through this once before 10 years ago, but you know, you can have all the puppies you want. That initial period goes by rather quickly, so I thought I'd share words of wisdom with you all on what we experienced recently and some of the tips that came to mind as we were taking care of Luke on his first night with us. So stay tuned. Okay, so first off, the minute we brought him home, we introduced him to the crate, sort of showed him where it is, and he immediately took to it. He came and played with us this afternoon. If you haven't seen that video yet, link in the description below, check it out. He came home and he sort of took to his crate like right away. He loved that den-like environment that it provided him, and he started taking naps in there throughout the day. And, we started closing the door on him on the crate little by little, so that by the end of the day, we completely shut the door on him for a few minutes, which he did not like. Obviously he's coming from an environment from the kennel where, he slept with his brothers and sisters, his mother wasn't too far, and he had all the familiar smells in the world. And even though he's only been on that planet for 8 weeks when we brought him home, he had gotten into a routine with them. So now that routine has been changed yet again, and all of the loud, noisy surroundings became quiet all of a sudden. So he really took to that den-like environment to kind of soothe himself. But like I said, when the nighttime came and we kind of shut the door on him, he didn't like it. But however, he did sit there in the crate, and even though he cried for the first few minutes, he self-soothed himself and slept in there. He came out quite a number of times that first night, but not because he didn't like the crate per se. It's because he was given a lot of water by us, and the reason we allowed him to have as much water as he wanted that first night was because we brought him home from the breeder. We weren't sure how much water he had had that day. We weren't sure if he was nervous here, if he was excited, scared, all at the same time. So we weren't sure if he was consuming the correct amount of water that he normally does. So we let him have as much water as he wanted that first night. So every time he came out of the crate to go potty, when he came back, we let him have water because he wanted some. He went to his water bowl and had some. That's something we stopped later on, but that first night, like I said, to get him used to his crate and our lifestyle, we wanted to make sure he was well rested, well hydrated, because we weren't sure, obviously how much water he normally drinks. So that first night we let him have as much water, hence why he came out so many times. He came out about like 3 or 4 times that night. He would cry, I'd bring him out, he'd come in, drink some water, and I'd put him in the crate with a treat. He loved that. He'd cry for a minute because he didn't like the crate, and then he'd go to sleep. So he did that, obviously a few times. The first time he started crying in the crate, even though I've been through it before, and I have a, tough love, because you got to do the tough love to make sure that he takes to the crate. It's hard to watch and have him cry in the crate. Really breaks your heart, and doesn't matter if you've never been a parent before, your paternal instincts kick in, and you just don't want him to suffer. And as soon as I heard him cry for the first time, I really wanted to just take him out of there and put a rest to the whole crate idea. But I knew how helpful it was the first time around when we had a puppy, and I had to tough it out, and I'm glad I did, and I'll do an episode on that. But that first night, you just kind of have to tough it out. You'll read online all these things about how dogs just take to your crate right away, and they will not cry in there, and how in within a day or two they are crate trained. These are not normal stories that happens to normal golden retrievers. These are rare dogs, I would say. The normal golden retriever has to be trained to be in the crate, but they'll make it their home soon enough. But that initial tough love training is needed, and there are ways to make it better for yourself. So tip number 1 is you got to find out what kind of golden retriever you have. So when you get your golden retriever, make sure you put the crate in a common area. And the reason I'm suggesting this is because If you find out that your golden has one of two personalities, then you may not want to move the crate. So personality number one, the golden retriever loves it when you're near the crate. So he'll wake up in the middle of the night, look at you, and he'll be soothed by the fact that you're near him, and he feels safe, and he'll go back to bed. There's the other type of golden retriever, my type of golden retriever. The more he sees a person at nighttime, the more he will not want to stay in the crate. He thinks you're interacting with him, and he'll start whining that you're not letting him out. And if you let him out, thinking he needs to pee, and he'll just play. He just didn't want to be in there because you're interacting with him. So find out what type of golden you have. And if you find out after putting in the common area, the crate, the common area, that your golden retriever needs you, then you can consider moving the crate into your bedroom. The only problem with that is, while he'll be safe and he'll feel safe and secure, if you need to take him hot potty in the middle of the night, you have to carry him down the stairs. When he's really small, this is okay, but as time goes on, it becomes more of a pain. So something to consider. Or you could move into, where he is, temporary. Look how silly he's being. He's got leaves all over him. So there's two types of golden. So mine's the latter, the one that the less eye contact he gets during sleep time, the better. And then there's the other tip I have for you is, we have like this sort of not mesh, what do you call this, wired type of crate. And the problem with that is that we have this crate from the last time we had a puppy, but the problem here is that they prefer den-like environments. So if you could get a crate that's covered on all sides except one side where he goes in and out, that would create even more like a den-like environment for him. So you should consider trying to get one of those. If you don't already have a crate, or you're not getting one for free, you should consider getting a crate like that, because that will definitely help him make it home a lot faster, as it'll be more den-like. The other thing is, as much as you don't want to wake up all night, the first night you have your golden retriever, do not cut off his water too early, even though, that's part of the training later on. The problem with that is cutting off the water too early is, hey Luke, let it go. Let it go, good boy. The problem with that is that you're not sure how much water he's supposed to be drinking. You'll figure that out in a day or two, so you'll know if he's drinking the right amount of water. So don't go crazy on the I don't want to wake up all night thing already. You just got a new puppy. It's going to be growing pains for a little bit, but it'll go by so fast. So definitely make sure he's got enough water. And resolve to the fact that it's going to be a night or two before he settles in, and it'll get a whole lot better. So definitely go easy on the water, give him lots of treats, and try to put as many treats in his crate as possible. So if you want him to go in, put a treat in there, so he's sort of motivated to go in there. I think I covered most of the things I wanted to talk about for our first night with him. Like I said, if you do get a crate like ours, make sure it's covered on all sides. You could put a bed sheet and fashion it. I'm sure you have friends who could probably give you their old crate or whatever. But if you wish to buy one, like I said, buy one that's completely closed. The more den-like, the better for them, because that's where they really feel secure, feel like it's a safe haven for them. They'll adopt it as their home in no time. Luke, get out of there. Hey. Luke. Get out of there. Come here. Look. 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 There you go. What you looking at? Thank you for getting out of there. I appreciate you. I appreciate you.